Shalom, shalom, Yasharal, shalom. How are you guys doing? How you guys been? How's your week? Um, so you know, there's a lot of false doctrines, right? There's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of false reports, right? Because you gotta remember, Christ said that there will be false prophets, deceiving men, right? So in Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 1. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Yasharel that prophesy, and say thou unto them that prophesieth out of their own hearts, Hear ye the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh Lahayim, woe unto the foolish prophets, that follow their own spirit, and have seen nothing. O Yasharel, the prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. So, if a fox is known as cunning, sly, trickery, right, will deceive you to get what it wants, right? So these prophets out here, the most times than the prophets nowadays, they deceiving you. They're going after their own hearts. They're prophesying not the right things, right? In the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will he do in the day of visitation, in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will he flee for help? And where will he leave your glory? So, you over here, for the pastors, right? They're decreeing unrighteous decrees, such as, come as you are, you'll be saved, right? Oh, don't worry about it. Just keep on seeking God. Keep on believing in Jesus, and and the spirit of Satan will flee from you. But yeah, again, throughout the whole week, you do misconception, you fall short, and instead of rising yourself back up, you just bring yourself more down, right? Because the pastors are not telling you what they're supposed to be telling you, which is to repent and come out of her, come out of Babylon, right? Jeremiah 23 and 1. Jeremiah 23 and 1. Woe be to the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahweh. See, they're destroying us, right? Our body is full of subject unto maliciousness. We don't even know how to even think and how to get out of those type of thoughts, right? Not all of us, some of us, right? Some of us go into drunkenness. Some of us go into what you call man-made drugs, right? To relieve the pain, whatever you're going through, such is the case, right? But the pastors, they're not letting you know what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be seeking God all over again because you have left Him. You have forgot about Him. You forgot His covenant and His laws, right? So Jeremiah 50 and 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that found them have devoured them. And their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh. See? So our adversaries say, you cannot accuse us because you have sinned against Yahweh, right? So do not put the blame on us, right? But see, what they're telling you is it's okay. Keep on doing what you're doing. It's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be okay. That's not the case. The Most High, He doesn't work like that. He tells you to seek Him and come back to Him, right? Isaiah chapter 56, verse 11. Yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. See? So there's some shepherds, pastors, that don't understand the word of the Lord. For that very reason, they err in their own ways. They err in their own conceit. And they are greedy, meaning they'll take your money because they gave you this truth, but upon that they asking for a tithing which doesn't belong to them, right? Plus, they working with the so-called enemy, right? So they're greedy. TJ Jakes is greedy, right? The mother big El Shopton, right? The mother big pastors, they're nothing but greedy dogs. They never giving back to the communities. They never give back to the people. Right? Everything's all for them. Right? They'll tell you that they work hard for it. But that's you working. Right? Mosai said that don't be a servants of men. Right? 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of Allahayim, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know he the spirit of Allahayim, every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is that spirit of Antichrist. So there's some people out there that don't believe in Jesus Christ. They think that he's just a man-made story, or they think it's some type of a folk tale, right? But that's the spirit of the Antichrist. Wherefore he have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. Meaning that spirit of Antichrist is already in the world. Meaning at that time, there were people who didn't believe in him, right? They didn't believe in the stuff that he was doing, the wonders that he was making. So they despised him, they rejected him, and it was among his own people, the Jews, right? Mark chapter 7, verse 6. Right? And remember, the scribes and Pharisees, they knew the law, right? They was the ones teaching the law and putting people, as you can say, under subjection to the law. But yet themselves, see, they wasn't doing it. That's the spirit of the Antichrist right there. Because the scribes and Pharisees, they didn't really believe in Jesus Christ and the miracles that he was doing. They was just accusing him. They was accusing him and trying to find fault in him. So Mark 7 and 6. He answered and said unto them, well, hath Esaias prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Meaning your heart is not with the Lord. Right? You don't know his commandments. You don't know his judgments. You don't know wisdom. You don't know understanding. How be in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men, meaning these people, they rather follow the traditions of man, which the traditions of man during that time was the Romans, the Greeks, right? And in the book of Maccabees, second Maccabees, it speaks about the Hellenization of the Jews turning themselves into being a Gentile, because the Jews starting to lose power, right? And the kings from the other nation wanted to put the Jews under subjection. So then Hellenized them, right? For laying aside the commandments of Elohim. So you lay aside the commandments of Elohim and you forgot his commandments, his feast days, his holy traditions. Instead of you keeping the feast of dedication, you do Christmas. Instead of keeping the feast of weeks, you do, or the feast of tabernacles, you do Thanksgiving. Right? You follow traditions of man, right? Because the holy feast days are in the scriptures. Right? They're in Leviticus chapter 23, right? They're in Deuteronomy chapter 16, right? And many, many, many more. Right? Exodus 12 speaks about the Passover and such other customs, right? So they laying aside those commandments, right? And they rather hold a tradition of men, such as washing of pots and cups, right? So I'm gonna read that again. For laying aside the commandments of Elohim, he hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things he do. Meaning, by you thinking that washing your hands, right? You think that's holy, right? Because remember, there's accusing of him in his apostles, his disciples, on eating with hands unclean, and they thought of it to be unclean, basically. But you can only be unclean if you sin, or in the law of the Most High tells you it's unclean. There's no way you can be unclean. So it's not wrong for you to eat with dirty hands. It's upon you. You want to eat with dirty hands, right? But it's not. It's not something that it's like, oh, you sinning, right? No, you're just following the doctrines of man upon that. See, right? Verse 9. And he said unto them, Fool, will he reject the commandment of Elohim, that he may keep your own traditions? For Moses said, Honor thy father and thy mother, and whoso curseth father or mother, let him die the death. So he gave them a simple, commandment, which they themselves don't keep. Right? Spirit of the false prophets. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13. For such are as false prophets, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. Meaning they'll speak about Christ, right? They'll make it seem like all about Christ, basically, right? But they're really not, because they're laying aside the commandments of God. The inwardly part, it's no good, right? For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end should be according to their works. Meaning, don't be marveled, because even Satan transforms himself into an angel, right? Deceiving you, thinking that it's gonna work out the best for you, but at the end, it doesn't. Right? And then you have revelations. Right? The ultimate, this was gonna happen to you, for not preaching the right things. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophets are. And the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. So, with this, it's just letting you know that do not lay aside the commandments of God. Keep them, study them, do them. Let the Lord enlarge your heart for you to have more understanding upon what